히트 시즌2.
Welcome back, guys, to SPL. We have to jump into a quick break there. Maybe not so quick for some of you guys who are impatient, but it's okay. We're back here at the Nexon Arena doing more of this Pro League, and we're about to go into game number 4. Bunny was actually able to kill Rogue there, which is very surprising.
Yeah, really great comeback. For all of you skeptics out there that I know Petit Drogo is doing this a lot at Home Store Cup. He's like calling the game over in like 5 minutes in.
Oh, yeah.
No, you actually can't tell who's going to win just because one player gets an advantage. That comeback from Bunny was actually really impressive.
Yeah, it was really cool to see him do that against one of the best players as well. Let's see who Jin Air is going to put out here. It's either going to be Maru or Trap. And I see one of the players. Oh, it's going to be Cure. Okay. Forgot about him for some reason. I don't know why Oh man, Cure is actually doing really well.
Exactly, 5-3 record this season, so even better record than Bunny has. So going to come out here as one of the 4 players that we're going to see from Jin Air tonight. I mean, the last one. And if Maru doesn't play here tonight, somebody's going for some next level strats. But
yeah, Maru's playing tonight.
We do have that to look forward to later on. Bunny coming up, not the greatest record either, but with a win over Rogue, he's already really cashed in for CJ.
Yeah, he's done his job. You know, he could come in here, and if he won, that would be, I mean, that would be so huge, not only for CJ, but even for Bunny's career, right? Everybody would see him like, holy crap, this guy is actually really good, and people would give him a lot more respect. You can see him meditating in the booth now.
He's reaching his Zen place, and he's actually got a higher fan vote than Trap does. So wow, that's actually kind of impressive. So get out there, hashtag JAG win or hashtag CJ win.
Yeah, guys, let's jump into this game right now. Bunny versus Kira on Frozen Temple. Down here in the bottom right, in the green, it is Cure.
And over in the upper left will be our Terran player with a big comeback. It's going to be Bunny for CJ.
This is going to be an interesting one. I don't recall how good Bunny's TVT is, but Cure's is quite good. He was able to go to Game 7 against Innovation once upon a time.
Not a mean feat by any means, to use both meanings of that word. And when it comes to this TVT, like it used to be, TVT was the resident sleeper matchup, and it's like, well, both players are going to get their big tank lines, and then. Well, it used to be that you'd have to unsiege them back in the good old Brood War days, but now you can just pick them up and drop them ever closer. Although there have been some new openings. You've seen a few like 3-Rax Reaper builds come out, although it's not necessarily prevalent in this matchup. I've seen a lot more mech out there these days, so could
see it from time to time for sure.
Reactored Hellions.
You see some people trying to do Cyclone builds. It never works. I've never seen it work.
Freaking Nathanius, it's all his fault.
They got that upgrade. I forget what it's called, but
does it? I don't even think any. Yeah. Does anybody know what that's called?
I only know what it's called because it comes up on my Observer PC.
Dirty cheater.
And then I act as if I knew it all along.
Yeah, well.
That's the strat,
well,
guys.
that's the secret, is the casters actually know everything. We just pretend like we don't sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
you gotta be humble,
we're
right?
Just trying to make this interactive esports, so instead of you guys just watching and us talking, you get to tweet at us the names of everything that we forget. So that's super helpful out there. But pretty identical starts for both sides, although much faster factory here for Bunny. See if he wants to reactor that, although he hasn't built a reactor on his barracks. Usually you see that synced up in the timing.
Kind of an interesting build that he's going for here. He is going to go right into a CC. Maybe this is because he scouted it. Scouted the CC on Cure's side, that is, and he's like, oh, I should probably get this out quicker. He does pull out of gas, too. See him not mining all too much.
Oh, does raise the depot, so no scout for you. You're not going to be able to get into the base. The good old Marine before Reaper build. Usually you see that Reaper come out first, and actually a little bit of a better scout here is there's blocking that, there's no additional add-on. Kind of interesting to not see an add-on early. A lot of times you'll see Reactor Hellions maybe come out in that matchup, or immediately go into, I guess, you don't build siege tanks immediately anymore, but this is the new 1-1-1. You get 1 Marine, 1 Reaper, 1 Hellion.
Just get all the units, you know? This is like what my first time playing Starcraft was like. I'm like, let me make a Marine and a Marauder and a Ghost. Like, start making a Ghost Academy. I'm still on 1 base, of course.
Well, I mean, 1 base is really all you need, man. That 1 base battlecruiser build was so sick when I first started playing.
The planetary rush where you float the CC into their base.
Land it.
Yeah.
That was actually done in competitive play, Valdez.
Yeah, it was. I think I watched that game, actually.
That makes me so sad deep down inside. But no, this is a much better game. Legacy of the Void, of course, affording you many different strategies, including the ability to build 1 of every unit, which is kind of what we're seeing here. Although we are going to get some Cloak Banshees here for Cure, which have not been scouted out remotely. Of course, can get scanned at any time.
Oh, and he's actually just going to jump right into the base, and this is not going to be denied. He saw that for sure.
Definitely did. It's like, wonder what's researching. It's going to be the Medevac boost upgrade.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's
faking it, you know? He's making a Medevac and just pretending he's getting Cloak.
Oh, but they're both going to run into each other right in the middle of the foliage. Of course, these trees, definitely evergreens because they do not catch on fire. Not sure exactly how that works, but up at the top of the ramp, the high ground advantage won't cause you additional mischance, but it will allow you the ability to hit the enemy units first, pulling back that Banshee.
Nice play by Bunny, you know, good control there, doesn't freak out. And he also gets the scout too, so I mean, he's already got 1 Viking out. Oh, he's got 2 Vikings out, and he's making a 3rd. So as long as he puts up some turrets, or he could even just rely on scans here. Let's see how he wants to play this one out.
Well, 3rd base started up here as well, as you can see the Vikings somewhat effective, but you do need to drop the scan. Turret will come up, though. This Banshee should not be too insanely effective. We'll get about 3 SCV kills, and there's that Cyclone. Didn't work.
Nicely done. He actually, I was getting worried for him because he wasn't building any turrets, and he delayed it for quite a while, too. So I was like, But relies on the scan for the first one. No turret over here, though, for the second one.
There's still some effective Banshee harass. Wait, okay, so he did kill that. I didn't even see the missiles shoot out of there, but scan, will this Cyclone range be long enough? There's a little bit of Viking fire, but a second scan. Used to take that one out. So that's 3 scans already. That's a lot of minerals down. That could have been mules. I don't know if that's necessarily effective harass, but here comes the follow-up. Blue Flame.
Oh, here we go. Okay, we're going mech. It's happening, guys. We're doing this.
Oh boy,
we've been seeing this, you know, a lot actually recently, very recently in Korea.
And because this is Legacy of the Void, we can see different mech versus different mech. Oh, where's the scan? Might actually have it just yet.
I think he's waiting on it, or maybe just following until it runs into a turret. No, just gonna scan.
All right, well, more scans forced to be used, and this is different mech versus different mech. So we've got some Cyclones and tanks and Vikings mixed in here for Bunny. On the other side, these Banshees have just not been very effective for Cure.
Look at this. He's going to actually just try to break the ramp here with a bunch of landed Vikings. And you know what? There's no Vikings in the air. There's 2 now for Cure. So landing these Vikings is going to be great. There's a lot of Hellions, though.
Hellions should all die here. That tank's going to be super effective at that. But it does look like just barely. Oh, the Blue Flame upgrade also kicking in. That's the Vikings. That's a win for Cure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure if he...
Cure.
I think he kind of underestimated the amount of damage those Hellions could do to the units, just because there's so many of them, right? They're good against light units, right? But they still do a lot of damage if you have enough. So kind of throwing his army in there, it was a relatively even trade. But I feel like that's going to be good here for Cure. He gets his 3rd base up, gets those 5th and 6th gases for his mech, and he's going to begin some Blue Flame Hellion harassment here.
All right, well, the Blue Flame Hellions coming in there. Turrets don't shoot down, much like Marauders don't shoot up. And that's going to be actually a lot of mules lost. He's going to lose these Hellions, but that's already pretty effective. Is he going to lose? Okay.
Yeah. You saw these SEVs almost went back too early.
I was a little bit worried there. I actually thought the Hellions were going to die a lot more quickly, but when you count all of those mules lost, all of the scans that were forced to be used on the Banshees, you can actually see maybe a little bit of a resource advantage already being impacted. Double tanks being produced here as much bigger army.
Yeah, I kind of like this map for Mac. You know, it's not the easiest map to drop on. Hold that thought. We got some more Blue Flame Hellions. The splits have to be fantastic.
Already getting 5. Oh my god, clumping up! Just barely killed off in time. Could have been so bad, but he's actually still lost a decent amount of SCVs, down by about 10.
Yeah, he's putting in work with those Hellions. And, you know, with the third base, the fourth base is not going to be all too difficult to defend. There's really, if you can hold the top of this ramp over here, you're going to be good. And unless your opponent breaks down the rocks, which I think Bunny definitely should do if he wants to go for a head-on engage.
Head-on, apply directly to the enemy team composition.
Yes.
So,
kill the rocks and put head on. Yeah.
All right, well, some great production. We've already got those Hellbats crammed inside Medivacs. I don't even know how that works out. I think they should actually just carry them below like mini Thors, but
it does that when they're sieged up, but not when they're
Medivacs are basically like the oh my god, gonna snipe these Medivacs before they even get any chance to drop. They do get one Marauder out, but that is not going to be enough. Very ineffective harass coming out here from Bunny. Bunny just lost like, what is that, 20 supply worth of units? That was not
quite
not
a big
greatest.
chunk. I mean, you could see what he's trying to do with the drops. This is what you have to do against Mech. You pull it apart with drops, but it's very hard to do on this map. You can hold a couple of locations with Vikings, and if you've got a sensor tower over here by the third base, you're pretty set. So I do love the fact that Kira's going for Mech on this map. And
he's doing that patented Artosis build. When you're ahead, he's got his 4th command center already starting. He's not going to try to kill Bunny. He's just getting more ahead.
And it looks like Bunny may have seen that. He might rely on the units. Yeah, he's just going to send the Vikings over there and still perhaps attack with the units he's got on the map here.
Patrolling Vikings will actually find this drop coming in here, so might try to drop off one. He actually does get one Hellbat down. Will he get any kills with that? Okay, he got one. Oh my god, that actually turns into a little bit more.
Yeah, gets 3 in a pull. After all, probably not worth it, but at least he distracts Bunny here. Bunny still is finding no damage, and 1-1 completing now for the mech of Cure.
So tank line starting to get set up here, well, already set up for Cure, so he's walled off his bases for now. Pretty solid. I don't really think there's any room for either player to really get very much effective harass down. Now we get to lean back, stretch a little bit, move our 4th command centers out to where they need to be, and start to mine some minerals.
Yeah, he's playing a very passive game outside of the couple of harassments he's gone for.
What's that? Meching Terrans play passively, Valdez?
Yeah, I know. It's insane.
Oh my god.
We saw like an interesting mech style out of Flash back in Heart of the Swarm where he would attack at like 160 supply. He's like, no, this is the timing.
Yep.
I'm just going to kill them. But
this is
none of that nowadays.
No way, man. If you can get up to 200 supply, then you get that 200 supply. You can see Bunny actually trying to continue to poke in up towards the upper 3 o'clock position, but continues to get repelled over and over. And that force has been largely ineffective. Oh, the secret ninja base coming out way down in the lower left-hand corner. I'm not sure that's the best spot to put a secret base. Like right next to your opponents?
There's not too many locations on this map. You know, this is no Dusk Towers, right? But I do like the idea of going for the secret base against Mech. It's very immobile. It's going to be hard to get stuff over there unless you're sending Hellions or dropping Hellbats. And if he doesn't know about it, it's obviously going to be a while.
What is that green building down at the 7 o'clock? I still can't figure out what that is.
I think it's a floating barracks.
Yeah, floating barracks over there. So that actually could scout that out, but a big push up the middle of the map here. Cure could be about to stick it to Bunny. Nice amount of Vikings poking forward. And siege tanks on the ramp. They do get scanned.
See how Bunny wants to engage
well
this.
Aware from this. Just the harassment coming in there once again, not incredibly effective. Tanks starting to shell things out here, and the Hellbats in the medevacs gonna get dropped in the mineral lines. This actually could do a lot of economic damage. 4 Hellbats for 7, 8, and more coming in. 9, 11 worker kills, and more scans trying to stop these medevacs from dropping on top. Here come down the Hellbats. Will they be enough of a buffer zone for the tanks on the ramp?
Trying to get his units here in a concave, but so many of the Hellbats buffering, as you said, and I think that's just going to be it. Too many of the tanks survive here. I think he should have tried to come from behind as well.
Right.
And he tried to drop Marauders in there, but the Vikings were right in position. Snipe those medevacs.
All of his medevacs, too. That is not a great spot to be in. He's going to try for a cheeky little flank around the corner, but I still think that this mech army is big enough to cause major damage to Bunny.
Look at the tanks rolling away. Trying to get away from these stimmed Marines.
No, that is not
gonna happen.
That's not the yellow brick road, man. I mean, the city's green, but it's not the emerald one.
Yeah, this is not a good spot for Bunny.
Oh no, all these SCVs! Wait, they do actually make it. He's actually going to ferry them down to his ninja base, I believe.
He walks by the army and into a scan as he
Nothing
goes
to see
his
here.
base.
Pay no attention to all these SCVs running out on the map.
And Kira isn't paying attention. He's like, yeah, whatever.
This is that flank you were talking about earlier. Coming in from behind, actually might be able to clear up all of these tanks.
Very close,
not all of those
yeah.
tanks.
Not all of this, yeah, and that's going to be it. Kira's going to be able to take out Bunny. GG.
Oh, Bunny. Kira coming out as sort of the other Jin Air Terran and picking up a win here against Bunny. So a nice little turnaround. Going to bring that score back, and Jin Air now in a surprisingly good position.
Yeah, we're sitting at 2-2 now, and this is definitely a match. This could go either way at this point.
It certainly is a match, Valdez.
We have to look at what these two teams have left, right? Kira's here, and then they're going to use Maru, so that we kind of figured out Jin Air already. And on the other side, I guess you played Biel in the next one?
Biel, and then MC mostly is their finisher, most likely. MC, I think, is probably... who do you think would fare better against Maru, Biel or MC?
Probably MC at this point. I mean, it doesn't seem like Biel is too comfortable in ZVT. Whereas MC, you throw him out against anyone and he's got a chance. So
that is true.
I'd say MC. I think if we get to an ace match here, not an ace match, but game 7, it'll probably be those two.
Okay. And Bunny looks like so crushed after his loss. Takes those losses super hard, especially like yesterday. Today. He was at least able to pick up a win for CJ today, which means he's just as good as Hero.
At least for today. For one day in his life, he's made it.
Well, actually really impressed by Kira, able to come in there, pick up a win, and may not have necessarily been expected from the CJ to see him maybe out so early, or to see him out at all. I know definitely kind of slips through the cracks every once in a while, but it looks like he's going to be okay, guys.
Yeah.
We've got our fine Pro League staff in the back setting up the gumball machine that gives you free drinks, popcorn.
Yeah, I just... It's so interesting to see like the camera shot, right? But then I look right over there and the guy's got this giant camera just like in their face. I'm like, how do they just like ignore it so well?
Well, nobody
like,
teaches
you that.
Well, you think about becoming a pro gamer and you're like, well, I'm going to be good at video games. Like, no, man, you got to be comfortable with giant cameras in your face, giving interviews.
You got to be a personality of sorts, right?
Well, MC's got enough personality for the whole CJ team.
That's true, actually. You know, they don't need anyone else. Like, Hero's got he's got some personality too.
I mean, he's actually been all over the world, winning like every IEM tournament and a few others sprinkled in there. He 2-1 Flash the Asia Indoor Games too. So Flash also playing again tonight, but I think
not here.
Yeah.
He's at one of those other tournaments for some other game.
With those other casters, too. It's like, you guys are obviously in the right place. So thanks for coming out. Tell your friends about Pro League tonight. This is actually the last Pro League games you guys get to watch in Korea because it's going to be going to IEM in about a week and a half.
And after that, we will have the Grand Postseason playoffs, but this is the last one for a while.
Right.
So that's not coming until August.
You got to get your Pro League while you can.
Yeah.
No, your other friends probably don't even realize that they're missing that. And then next week, they're going to be like, where's my Pro League? That's when you get to say, yo, man, you got to watch the VODs from last week. VODs, of course, not as good as watching us live. Because then when we do something super awkward, it doesn't get edited out.
Yeah.
Much like that first transition. Gonna leave it up to our fabulous SPO.TV editors, or I think it's actually the EsportsTV guys that do all the VODs.
Yeah.
Make things look so sick.
I think is SPO.TV. That's all the SPO.TV VODs for every tournament, actually, that they run.
Those are a lot of VODs.
Including Action Tournament, which is a game that we don't understand still.
Some ads for that in between makes about as much sense as those Exo Volcano Chicken commercials.
Yeah, I mean, not even, man. Like, it probably makes less sense than those. I see, like, just these little girls in bunny outfits, and then they, like, throw giant logs out of there, just, like, out of thin air. I'm like, what is going on, man?
It happens.
What
it's
is
real.
This?